All right, what's up, everyone? This is the Awesemo.com NHL Hit the Ice show. I'm joined, as usual, by Steve Homercleese Bauer. Steve, how you doing? Are you excited for this 9-gamer after the disappointing end to the night last night?
Yeah, looking to get back at it. It was shaping up to be a pretty good night, except for that Philly fade that I had at the end. But yeah, I don't know. Looking to get back at her tonight, so should be a good one.
Yeah, should be a good one. As always, we've got some news and notes to take care of. We'll go through those game by game. Uh, just kind of off the top, do you see anything ownership wise that we need to be aware of as far as like super owned stacks? Maybe Tampa 1 was the only one I saw, but what do you
Yeah,
think about the
Tampa
slate
one.
overall? Yeah.
I think Tampa one's going to be popular for sure.
And they haven't been that good this year, just yet, at even strength at least. They've been doing a lot of their damage on the power play.
Yeah,
So, I don't
it is a
know.
very good power play matchup for them tonight, though. So
Yeah,
that makes it kind of tricky.
that's the thing. Like,
Yeah,
because they can get it done on the power play. Like Kucherov, Stamkos, JT Miller are all in the top power play, and so it makes for kind of a tough fade, I guess, even on a 9-gamer. And
yeah.
their ownership is going to be probably the highest on the slate. What do you expect them to be? Like, take the Spinorama for example. So I think it's 12 max. There's 400 entries in there. It's some of the best players in the industry. Alex Osmo is going to be in there. You said you might join. I've got a ticket. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't enter it. But it's going to be a lot of really good players in there. What do you think Tampa 1 sees in that tournament, if you had to guess?
Around 20%.
Yeah.
Maybe, normally on maybe in a larger field, it would be 15%, something like that, 15 to 20. I think it would be the highest owned for a larger slate. But in that particular tournament, I'm guessing probably a little higher, 20, maybe 21, 22.
Yeah, that's just the advantage, too, of having multiple entries. So if you are maxing that, if you are Awesemo, and you can max that, or you do max every tournament you enter, um, yeah, like having a few Tampa 1s is so beneficial. So I was thinking about maybe getting a second entry in the 360, but I don't know. We'll see depending on if it's filling or not. Right now, I just have the 1, and it's just really tough to hand build one lineup on a 9-game slate. I'm remembering because last year I did a lot of single entry and just
Yeah.
play all the high stakes stuff. And this year I've kind of gone to MME, so it's just really tough. Like there's so many lines I want a piece of tonight, so many good spots. I don't know. Like what are you gonna do tonight? Are you going to MME? I know we talked a little bit before the show, but
Yeah, I'll do some MME tonight, and but I'm also playing some of the higher stakes stuff, so you will have to narrow down your choices there. So I don't know. I haven't made up my mind in those contests just yet, but there's a few spots that I'm looking at that I'll probably target pretty heavily.
yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. So the stacks I wrote up today, I'm still on them, but definitely added a couple to the mix. So hopefully we'll be able to talk through everything and go through it quickly, concise, and see some lineups at the end. Probably use the hand builder, and maybe I'll end up using the lineup that we make in the Spinorama here. The cognitive dissonance can kill you with one lineup. Yeah, I need to just stick with the projections, and I'm having trouble doing that because I want to play New Jersey 1 and Vegas 1, and let's see, I want to play Tampa 1, but they're going to be chalk, and San Jose and St. Louis, so we shall see. But 9 games, we've got the lineup builder up on the screen. First of all, you guys can give us a like if you do like what we do. It helps us continue to have these shows for free. So give us a like if you watch regularly or not, or if this is your first time and you like the way we sound. Promo code Hit the Ice is still going on. You get a free week of Osmo's rankings, my projections. Fantasy Cruncher is included. The premium Slack chat is included. The lineup builder that you see on the screen is also included. So a lot of good stuff you get for a free week. It's free, so why not try it out, right? All right, let's talk about Vegas and Toronto. 2.7 implied total for the Golden Knights, 2.9 for the Maple Leafs. We could see some hard matching here. I don't know what Toronto did in their last game, but I know they have hard match with the Kadri line with Austin Matthews out. do you expect to see Kadri going up against Will Karlsson, Jonathan Marchessault, and Riley Smith here, Steve?
Yeah, this is going to be hard to predict because last game they didn't hard match against Dallas. So that Babcock's just been doing something different every single game. I don't know if he's trying to be all game theory about it or whatnot, game theory optimal about it, not being predictable. I don't really understand what he's doing this year. There's been no consistency, so it's hard to say. If there is a hard match, it's likely to be the Kadri line against the Marchessault line there.
Yep.
But I'm not particularly worried about any matchup for Vegas here tonight. I think it's a really good puck possession matchup for them in general. I really like the top Vegas line, and they're pretty cheap overall. And I don't even mind the second line as if Pacioretty does play. I think is he a game time decision or is he officially in?
I think they're leaning towards him being in, but
yeah,
maybe Nolan has that in his morning skate article. I'm sure he's probably got that in here. So if Pacioretty does play, he's going to be with Haula and Tuck, and those three haven't really played much this year. You'd expect that to be a pretty solid possession line, and a line that can score as well. I was surprised to see just a 5.5 total or a little bit over in this game. Seems like all these Toronto games have been like 6 and getting towards 6.5. Maybe not as much lately, but were you surprised by the 5.5?
A little bit, but yeah, they have been playing a little bit lower event this year than in the past. If you look at, their expected goals against isn't all that bad, and Vegas's is really good. Yeah, and even on the penalty kill. Nothing really stands out as either team being particularly bad. So, there's not a lot of weaknesses defensively here that I'm seeing. So that kind of makes sense. And Vegas has had a hard time scoring. They're below their expected goals. So they're due for positive regression here, but that'd be a reason why the line is so low.
Yep. Any line you prefer on Toronto? I kind of don't want part of that Kadri line just because if they do hard match, it's going to be against Karlsson Marchessault. So it would be the top line, the Tavares-Marner duo especially. Probably leave Hyman off. Is that what you're saying too?
Yeah. I would lean the Tavares line. They have a really strong expected goals for per 60 as a line combo. And, they trade a lot of chances, that line. So whatever line they match up with is good for Vegas as well. But so I don't really know how the lines are going to match. It'd be a lot easier to pinpoint what I want from this game if I could tell. The inconsistency is kind of tricky there. I do like their power play here tonight. Vegas is kind of middle of the road penalty kill. Their underlying numbers are very good though, but I guess they've been kind of a victim of bad luck so far. Yeah. But for the most part, the Leafs power play is their best chance of offense on any given night. So I do like those kind of 3-man combos, whether it be the Kadri, Marleau, Riley, or Tavares, Marner, Riley, something like that. The latter was a little bit more expensive though. Yep. But Marleau's particularly underpriced tonight, so I do like him on DraftKings.
Just 4,400.
He's a good way to get exposure to that whole power play unit in general.
I like it. Yeah, you could even go like Tavares, Marner, and then bring it down with Marleau there for the power play.
Yeah, Kadri's cheap too.
Yep. All right, defenseman here. You mentioned Morgan Riley. Do you like Theodore as your guy on Vegas, or are you going lower to like a Colin Miller? I guess it's pretty easy to see who correlates to which line. You've got Hall and Tuck on the second power play unit, so they would match up better with Colin Miller and then Theodore if you're stacking Vegas one.
Yeah, I do like both defensemen there. Any defenseman against the Leafs is a strong play. They're just really bad at covering the point. And and their prices are pretty reasonable as well. Yeah, Riley's quite expensive, and I don't particularly love the matchup, so that does make him a little bit more difficult. It would be GPP only type of deal at his price tag.
Osmo does not seem to like the goalies here. Anderson has a decent points grade, but not great value on either side. Like you said, both teams playing a little bit lower event hockey as of late, especially the Leafs. So 7,100 for Fleury, 8,400 for Anderson. Either of these guys doing it for you?
Yeah, Anderson's pretty expensive on DraftKings there, so that kind of sucks. Mm-hmm. But on FanDuel, he's mid-priced, middle of the pack as terms of pricing. So I really like him there.
All right, let's move it on. We've got 8 more to go. Let's go Montreal and the New York Rangers. Another 5.5 total. A little bit lower than that. 2.7 implied for Montreal. 2.7 for the Rangers. Carey Price in net going up against most likely Henrik Lundqvist. The Montreal top line very much let us down last night. It was actually the second line that was doing the damage, and that was kind of the line you needed to compete in tournaments. So are you running it back with Montreal 1? Are you chasing points with Montreal 2? Or are you kind of staying away from Montreal altogether here?
No, I do like Montreal. I like going back to the top line again. I'll play them in pretty much any matchup. They're just such a strong line there. But I do like to mix in the other Montreal lines as well. Any game against the Rangers, they don't really hard match. Their depth lines are kind of weaker defensively in general, so you don't really know how it's going to shake out. So I don't mind kind of mixing and matching in those Ranger games.
Okay. Yeah, line matching here. I mean, I have Zibanejad seeing the most time against Danault, Tatar, Gallagher, but who knows what they're going to do. So
yeah.
I'm not paying too much attention to line matching in this game. Montreal is on a road back-to-back. They played last night. Did they end up getting a win out of the game last night?
They won in a shootout, luckily. Niemi got positive points just at the end.
Yeah. I mean, I thought he was going to get pulled after 3 goals allowed in the first. So
yeah. One was kind of not his fault. It was a bad bounce off a skate that went right to the guy, but the rest were pretty soft.
Yeah. Yeah, Niemi's not terrible. Price, 7,300, Lundqvist, 8,100 here. I don't really love either of the goalies. Don't want to trust Price on the road back-to-back. Lundqvist is a little bit too expensive. On the Rangers side, are you stacking up either of these top 2 lines, Hayes, Kreider, Buchnevich, maybe as a value stack for me, but that's about all I have here.
Possibly. I just don't like going against Montreal in general. I think they're just a good possession team. So, yeah, I don't love it. I mean, the shot volume should go in Montreal's favor even on the back-to-back here. And, they have one of the higher expected shot attempts totals of the night and pretty decent expected goals for. The only issue is the back-to-back here. Their special teams aren't particularly bad. I'm not really seeing any weak spots for Montreal defensively, so I don't really want to target the Rangers tonight at all.
Yeah, not crazy about the Rangers either. Buchnevich not on the power play is a little bit of a downgrade as well, even though he's only 3,500. But Osmo looks to like Kevin Hayes as a value center. So Hayes would be a guy that if you are going with the 3 wingers for San Jose, the Donskoy, Pavelski, Kane line, Hayes would be the guy you could use if you need a second center for cheap. So I actually don't hate that if you're looking for one player from this Rangers side.
Yeah, I do like that. I mean, he's pretty cheap. When his price tag's down, he does shoot the puck a decent amount. Mm-hmm. So that's good.
Petrie, Riley for Montreal. Neil Pionk is up to almost 5K on DraftKings, but he is getting power play 1 time and top pairing time. I don't see myself having much of anything as far as defensemen go here, maybe outside of Petrie.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that. There's really nothing that stands out price-wise. Pionk is only 4K on FanDuel, though, so he's someone to look out for there.
Yeah, I actually did run FanDuel crunches with my projections, but he was one of the guys that came up as a decent value there.
Petrie's only 4,300 there, too, so that's
really?
pretty... Yeah, wow. Both those guys are good values there.
Cool. Yeah, so I might be playing some on FanDuel tonight, especially with some cheap defensemen that I like. Price, 7,300. Lundqvist, 8,100. Either of these guys going to be heavy targets for you?
Yeah, if their prices were a little bit different, I think they're kind of priced appropriately given the expected shot totals. Mm-hmm. I think Price is interesting. In general, in a vacuum in this matchup, I do like Lundqvist because he's expected to see a lot of volume here, and the Habs are on back-to-back, so scoring is generally lower. So it does shape up to be an opportunity for him to stand on his head, get some good shot totals here. But at 8,100, yeah, that's about where he should be priced. So I don't think he's undervalued or anything.
Yeah. Did you notice today that just the pricing overall is pretty tight?
Yeah, for the most part, there's a few guys that are underpriced, but for the most part, it's pretty good.
Yeah, I don't know. I like to see that. So when I was looking at it last night and
Yeah.
just hand building, messing around, I noticed it was pretty tough to come up with a lineup at first, at least. All right, let's move it to Dallas and Columbus. We have probably Ben Bishop going up against Sergei Bobrovsky. I don't really love a ton in this game. 2.5 implied total for the Stars, 3.1 for the Blue Jackets. We're not going to get a hard match on Columbus's side as far as forwards go. I'm guessing Columbus 1 will have some ownership here, but I wasn't getting that much in crunches at all. And then with Seguin and Ben split up still on the Dallas side, yeah, I mean, it's really just Seguin on the Star side for me. So what am I missing here, Steve?
Yeah, this game really doesn't stand out to me either. Neither team's particularly bad defensively here, so I do like Columbus in general. That top line's always in play for me, especially if they're going to go kind of under own. I don't see them being super popular tonight.
I mean, yeah, they're fairly priced. What is it, 18-7 on DraftKings? It's a pretty fair price. They're at home. It's not like Dallas is a sieve defensively or anything. So, yeah, I mean, the price isn't going to catch anyone off guard, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. So,
yeah,
I agree they're not going to be super highly owned.
You know, the Dallas power play is kind of interesting here, but I don't know that they're going to get a lot of opportunities here. Second half of back-to-back. Usually the team playing on the back-to-back takes more penalties. Yeah. But just from a straight-up power play matchup, one of the better power plays against one of the worst penalty kills.
Yep. I haven't seen how the Seguin, Shore, Janmark line was last night, or the Spezza line, for that matter. Did anything stick out to you? Did you look at that?
Boston dominated them in shots the whole game. Dallas had very little offense at all.
Okay. That's what I figured. I didn't see if you saw anything.
I think that should have been a 5-0 game.
Yeah.
At least.
Yeah, that's too bad. Bergeron hit a couple off the post, or at least one off the post, I know. So some people
I did see, now that I'm looking back at it, they did have Ben, Seguin, and Spezza together.
Really?
So, yeah.
Okay.
At times. I have to look specifically at when that happened. I assume it was halfway through the game when they weren't generating much. But, yeah, they were together.
Yeah.
At some point.
I mean, that'd be way more appealing for me, but...
Yeah, so that's something to look out for tonight. If that's a line combo, then I might go there because they would have power play correlation as well. Mm-hmm. So that's interesting. And Columbus has not been, they've been worse at even strength as far as expected goals against. They've been pretty poor at even strength. Third worst team on the slate.
Dallas playing on a back-to-back and 4-6 on the road.
Yeah, that's a getaway game for them. Yeah, tough one.
Yeah, so maybe I should be looking at Columbus a little bit more, specifically that top line. They're going to healthy scratch Bjorkstrand. So the third line was actually one that I was going to look at just because their numbers have been off the charts good at even strength. Wenberg, Duclair, and Bjorkstrand, but can't play them now. At least I won't be. What about the second line? Jenner, Foligno, Josh Anderson. Are they priced low enough for you to use as a filler?
Yeah, for sure. They're pretty cheap, right? Yeah. Just looking at the numbers here, Jenner.
There's just
the problem is if you look at their possession numbers here, 35 shot attempts for, 54 against per 60. Yeah, so they've been bad. Expected goals a little closer together, but not good offensively.
Okay. Yeah, man.
It's great. It's funny though because Anderson and Jenner are high shot attempt guys individually, so it's funny to see the combination of them be so poor.
Right. That's one that you would look at on an individual level and say, man, it's a high event line.
So there's kind of two conflicting pieces of data there. So it's kind of tough to make a decision on that one. But then you just look at that top line though, 3.5 expected goals per 60, expected goals for per 60. So, I mean, that's why they're always kind of the main play for me.
Yep. Especially at home, for sure.
Yeah.
Against the entire Dallas team.
Yeah.
Werenski or Jones. I mean, I'd rather have Seth Jones.
Yeah, it looks like they're both on the top power play unit now.
I mean, if you can afford the $800, yeah. But Werenski, not too bad of a consolation prize there. They were going to play together the entire game, it looks like. So, at all strengths. So, yeah. Those would be the two guys I'm looking at. And then if you are stacking that Dallas power play, then Klingberg's pretty clearly your guy. Are you punting with anyone else in this game?
I mean, the top end defensemen in this game are just so good. I wouldn't really go anywhere else. They eat up so many minutes.
Yep. And then Bobrovsky at 8K, is he back enough for you to use him here? Seems
I
like a
think
good
so.
spot to pick up a win. Yep.
I think so too. Hopefully the shot volume isn't like what Dallas put up last night.
Yeah.
That's the
How
only
many
thing.
shots do they end up with? They end up getting 20?
I'm not certain. It wasn't very much though. They got some more at the very end of the game, but for the first half, in the first period, they had 3 shots or something.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
So maybe just a note, don't want to stack against or target too heavily against Boston. They're kind of gone back to what they were last season after struggling to start off the year.
Yeah.
All right, ready to move on?
Sure.
Sweet. The New Jersey Devils against the Ottawa Senators. We've got a 3.1 implied total for the Devils, 2.9 for the Senators. We have a very good top line that disappointed last night. It was all Brian Boyle doing all the damage on the power play for the Devils. So Taylor Hall, Heischer, and Palmieri didn't really get into it. They didn't get on the score sheet too much. Hall just with the 1 assist. But man, this seems like a very good bounce back spot for New Jersey, despite it being a road back-to-back. Ottawa has problems off the ice. They've got problems on the ice. They're just a pretty poor team right now. So we back on the New Jersey 1 train here.
Absolutely. Hopefully everyone plays Tampa so I can play New Jersey.
What's the pricing differential? That's probably something I should have looked at.
New Jersey's more expensive. I'm pretty sure.
I know. I didn't know. Like, is it 1,000? Is it 1,500? 2K? Because the optimizers are going to give you. I mean, they'll give you some New Jersey for sure. But if you run a crunch just using any basic projections, mine included, I'm sure they're going to give you a lot of Tampa Bay. And
yeah, New Jersey's 20.8. And what's Tampa here?
Let's see. I'll go down to Tampa.
20.8, and Tampa is
17.
Yeah, they're much cheaper, 17.8.
Whoa.
Yeah, so 2K difference.
No, 3K. Did you say 20.8?
Yeah, what is it, 17.8? Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Yes, yeah, 3K difference. Wow.
Oh no.
They're 17.8 and then 28. Yeah, 3K.
Yeah. That's so it's quite a big difference. I mean that makes a huge difference. Jersey was 1 to 3% in high stakes at the Islanders on Saturday at a similar price, and it was a similar slate size as well. Okay, so all right, New Jersey 1 was one of the lines I was looking at, or is one of the lines I was looking at for my 360 entry, and they've got a really good chance to make it if I do full stack. At the very least, I think I want Taylor Hall in my lineup as a one-off. Osmo agrees, A points grade, A value. I mean, are you looking at anything else in this game, or where does New Jersey 1 stack as far as your top plays tonight?
It's my number 1 play.
Their number 1?
Yeah.
Road back-to-back?
This is by far the best spot on the... Well, this one in San Jose looked like the best expected goals for.
Mm-hmm.
Like New Jersey's one of the highest projected teams for me tonight. New Jersey, Carolina looks pretty good, but they're always going to be overrated on a lot of metrics.
Yep.
But San Jose and New Jersey are my top 2 tonight.
Okay. Yep, I'm right there with you. I think New Jersey was 3rd or 4th for me as far as like my adjusted team totals. So
yeah,
they're right up there. San Jose.
I mean,
number 1.
Ottawa's just so bad at 5-on-5 and on the penalty kill. Their penalty kill's horrible.
And it's not like they have an elite goaltender back there either.
Yeah, so there's
John Gibson.
Yeah, when you look at it from a pure data standpoint, New Jersey rates out as the best for me tonight. But then you have the intangibles like New Jersey's on the road back-to-back. They just beat a division rival last night at home in Pittsburgh, or on the road. Wait, it was in Pittsburgh.
Yep, it was in Pittsburgh.
So they just beat Pittsburgh, divisional rival, coming off a big win. Now they're going to go play the lowly, shitty Ottawa Senators. Big time kind of letdown spot. And then the Sens, after all that controversy, are probably going to be playing a little guilty tonight. So
a little guilty. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah. So I don't know. I feel like I should have some Ottawa here, just in case.
Yeah, I was actually getting some, and it's mostly that top line, the Duchesne Stone single line. I think just you know, an above average line. Maybe not as a top line, of course, but I mean, a solid NHL line, and they all get power play time. And then Thomas Chabot, like, I was making fun of him at his price earlier in the season, but he grades out as one of the top defensemen on the night just from, like, shot volume. He blocks shots like a madman. And he's 6K, and I was laughing at that price again, but he's kind of almost
he's earned it.
Yeah. So I will have some Ottawa 1 with Chabot, despite their hefty prices. Is that the one you're looking at?
Yeah, for sure. How has Ottawa been matching? I did not check that out. Are they doing anything? Oh, they were hard matching last game.
Duchesne against top competition.
Yeah, so I still really like the Hall line to win that matchup. But if you look at the, what is it? Oh, okay, never mind. Honestly, I think the New Jersey 3 and 4 get the best matchup by far. That Tierney, Ryan Bodker line is so bad defensively.
Awful.
But they're shielded against the depth lines.
Yeah, and so looking at Stone, Zingle, and Duchesne together, 60 minutes of ice time this year, 42.6 Corsi for percentage, 13.7 high danger chances against per 60. So not a line you should be worried about, even if they are going to hard match against T-shirt Hall, Palmieri. And I'm like talking myself into a full New Jersey stack, and they're going to be in a ton of my MME lineups. But yeah, I think I'm going to end up there on my one lineup, or my main lineup, I guess I should call it. Do you want to stack a defenseman here? Will Butcher coming off the 4-point game? I think it was 4 points.
So you know, you don't want to be point chasing, right? But this is such a good special teams matchup for them. The Sens penalty kill is so bad, and the Devils' power play is pretty good. So yeah, it's kind of tricky. I don't want to go back to Boyle and Butcher, but they're part of that top power play unit, and they can lower the price. Yeah.
If Boyle does it again tonight, just know I'm not winning the money.
Yeah.
I mean, and he's let's see what he is. He's 3,300 and gonna he does correlate to the top line. If you can't fit in one of those top forwards and you want a power play stack or you got a funky lineup construction, so he's not actually the worst play. But you really want to play Brian Boyle at some ownership coming off a hat trick on a 9-game slate.
13 minutes almost across the board consistently and top power play. If I knew they were going to get a bunch of power play opportunities, I would jam him in. 3,300.
Has Ottawa been committing a ton of penalties? Looks like middle of the pack as far as time shorthanded.
Yeah, middle of the pack. New Jersey draws a lot of power plays though too.
Yeah. All right.
They're maybe the fourth. They have the third or fourth highest power play expectation tonight.
Yep. Chabot's price on FanDuel is just dumb. Yeah, he's underpriced there. No 3 and 4 concern for New Jersey.
Yeah, that's the concern. Yeah.
I mean, we mentioned that.
That's the concern.
Yep. Goalies here, we don't know if it's going to be Kincaid on the back-to-back or Court Schneider. That still hasn't been announced.
I was expecting Schneider, but he's only played the one game since coming back, right?
One of the beat writers yesterday said that the coach for New Jersey said it's Kincaid tonight, meaning yesterday, and then he wasn't closing the door on Kincaid going again. And won last night, huge game.
Yeah.
So this is literally going to be a half an hour before thing. So keep an eye out for this.
Yeah, and that's tough because there's 3 games before that.
Is this a 7:30?
7:30.
Ooh,
yeah.
All right. So you're going to know right at lock. But
DraftKings already has Schneider in the probables.
Schneider is Schneider the more expensive one?
They're the same price, actually, so you can just swap that.
Yeah, that's fine.
But FanDuel, I wonder. No, they're the same price on FanDuel. Okay, so you can just auto swap goalies. All right, that's not an issue.
That makes it a lot easier here.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to the next game. Real barn burner here, Vancouver Canucks and the Detroit Red Wings. Couple notes in this game. We've got Brock Besser is out, so that kind of takes away the appeal as far as full stacks, at least on my end for Vancouver. Elias Pettersson is 7,100 on DraftKings. He's also earned that price, but DK is adjusting really, really quickly. Looks like he's skating with Goldobin and Brennan Lipsick, and then Detroit lines, as always, are a mess. Larkin Mantha, good. Darren Helm on that line, very bad. So, I don't know. Do you have anything on this game outside of MME plays that aren't really priorities?
Power play stack seems appropriate in the spot. Both are taking a lot of penalties.
Okay. How would you stack that up? I mean, Larkin Mantha.
I think I would just do Larkin Mantha. What is it, green?
Larkin Mantha, green. Yep, green listed on the top unit.
Yeah, I just do something like that, or just run some random fourth man in there.
Sure.
But Advocator's still one of the other guys.
God.
I hate that. Yeah, maybe Ferk.
They're just gonna keep rolling out Advocator and Nick Cronwall forever.
What a joke! Are they trying to get last? They might be.
I don't know. They're good prospects in next year's draft. Like, are they trying to tank?
I wonder.
What is an MME play? Mass multi-entry, meaning what Steve and I both do with regularity is you're putting in more than one lineup, and usually 20 to 150 lineups in the same tournament. So you're covering a lot of bases. You're getting exposure to multiple lines and not just single entering. So MME equals mass multi-entry.
Yes. So when we mentioned those plays, they wouldn't be, if we had to do a handful of lineups, maybe one to three lineups, something like that. They wouldn't be in that player pool.
Right.
Just if we expand.
Yep. Perfect. You're looking at Vancouver side here, going back to Elias Pettersson and his 36% shooting percentage so far.
Yeah, it doesn't seem wise, but the other guys on his line are pretty cheap, right?
Goldobin and Lipsick. And they're getting.
I would have liked it a lot better if Besser was playing.
Yeah, that would have been fun, I think.
Yeah.
But
I think if you just look at the average cost of the line, though, it's not so bad.
Yeah. I mean, Pettersson, super expensive by himself, but you throw in $2,900 Brennan Lipsick, who I actually don't hate. I agree with Osmo. He has a pretty good value. And then Goldobin, who's under 4K. So the line in total is, what, 14K? So, 14K. That's not bad at all. Against Detroit.
We don't really have any data on any of these lines, so it's kind of tough to make decisions the way I like to by looking at the line values.
Yep.
But yeah, if you just look at the weaknesses of these two teams, I mean, I guess neither are very pretty defensively at 5-on-5, but they're not horrible either, and they're also pretty poor offensively.
Yeah.
Like they don't generate a lot at 5-on-5, so it's mainly I think just the power plays in this spot.
Jimmy Howard appealing at all? He's 7K. He's at home and he's a favorite. But
yeah, that's fine. Cheap option. I don't mind it. It would be a team stack sort of thing.
Yeah, if you're going to that Detroit power play one stack, I agree.
Yeah, mainly I like Detroit here. I like that. I like Larkin in a lot of these matchups. I'd rather play Larkin than Pettersson.
Okay, I think I agree with that as well. Any defensemen we should note here? We mentioned Green, but anything on Vancouver side?
Was Pouliot is taking over a lot of the big role of he's top power play unit. Yeah, 5 shots on goal last game's pretty nice.
Under 4K, not terrible value there. And he played 25
3.9. Yeah. Hutton also playing a lot. He's 36K, 3,600. So I don't mind that at all. Either of those two.
All right.
And what's the Detroit side? I don't think there's.
DeKaiser, 34. Jensen, 32.
Shalowski, Green, Daly, maybe. Yeah. I would play those guys.
Yeah. I think
nobody else.
Green easily my number one top pairing, top power play. And reasonably priced.
Yeah, that seems about right.
All right, let's go to Edmonton and Tampa Bay. We've got probably the chalkiest spot on the night. Edmonton on the back-to-back as well. Likely going to see the point line go up against McDavid, Nugent Hopkins, and not Drake Caggiula. He's moved down to the fourth line. It's going to be Ty Ratty on the top line. At least he skated there this morning. So that line reunited. They've been very good. Nugent Hopkins and McDavid have been awesome with whoever is on their line. So expect Ratty to slot in nicely as he has before. So Tampa won. I don't know. What do you do with them?
They're hard to fade. They're just it's a good price. It's a really good price. They're going to pop on all value metrics. It would be a tough fade, but it's doable. I think that Edmonton's decent enough at 5-on-5, at least if they're playing any of their top couple lines. How's the line matching been going for them recently? Have you caught up
Tampa?
on that? Yeah, I haven't seen their last couple. I guess they played Nashville was the last home game.
Point against top competition, and then
Stamkos
has been going against second and third lines.
Second and third, yeah. So I think against the third line, it's pretty good matchup at even strength. I don't think Edmonton third line's very good.
Yeah, the Strome, the Lucic.
I think they're kind of dull, but
yeah.
I don't know. I kind of like. That's a little tricky.
Well, so
I would play them. Honestly, I'm not worried. I wouldn't actively fade them just for the sake of fading them.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's just, I don't know. If they're 25%, then I'm going to come in underweight. If they're 15, 18%, I think that's kind of the sweet spot where I want to be in on them if I'm making 100 or 150 lineups. So I'm not fading them. I don't see a need to do that. They haven't been great at even strength, but they can get it done on the power play. They're all in the top unit. It is an Oilers team that, while improved this year, they're still on a back-to-back, and they're nowhere near the caliber of the team that Tampa is. That power play has been fine. So, yeah, I wouldn't just outright fade Tampa 1 for the sake of doing it. I think that'd be a pretty unwise thing to do if you're having multiple entries. What about the second line for Tampa, who has really awesome numbers at even strength? And then you going back to McDavid, Nugent Hopkins, and Ratty?
The Tampa second line, very high event both ways. So I think that shapes up well for both those two lines. So the interesting thing, just looking at the McDavid line with Kajula, their possession numbers look really good, and they're 61 Corsi for, 32 against with Kajula. They were 41 for 50 against with Ratty. So I wonder if it's just what opposition they've played during that sample size, or if Ratty makes that big of a difference defensively.
Yeah. I mean, McDavid line's always been high event both ways, right?
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I mean, Tampa 2, it's more a price thing with Tampa 2. While they have been really awesome, and they're going to see a lot of minutes, especially if they're hard matching McDavid.
Yeah.
They're probably worth that price, but I think there's just some better values out there.
Yeah. I don't know. I like McDavid a little bit tonight. Kind of if I'm, in my 5 lineup kind of range, 5 to 10 lineup kind of range, I definitely want to get him in there.
Sure.
And I don't know. I think you can play both Tampa lines. I think they're both in play. Obviously, the Stamkos line rates out as the best. They're excellent value. They're all together on the top power play unit, which is really the matchup we're looking for in this game, the power play. So, it's hard to go away from that Stamkos line, but I will have some of that point line maybe if you extend to 10 lineups or so.
And then Clefbaum, the obvious guy with Edmonton 1, correct?
Yeah, 5,300 is pretty reasonable.
McDonough, if you can fit him on Tampa.
Yeah.
If you're going to that second line, are you still trying to get McDonough, or are you going down to Sergachev, who's going to play a lot less minutes but does get the power play 2 time?
Well, so there's the correlation at even strength with, you should probably see McDonough and the point line against McDavid, right? So there's correlation there. I don't think you have to force it, though. I think you could also just go with the power play side of that, the Sergachev.
All right, I agree.
Correlation. Yeah.
And then Koskinen is 6,700, Vasilevsky 8,200, $1,500 difference here, but I think pretty well warranted on DraftKings' part. Tampa's a pretty big favorite here. You'd expect Vasilevsky to get the win, but I don't really love the expected shot volume that he's going to see here.
No. Yeah, I'm not a huge Vasilevsky fan in this matchup.
Okay. All right.
But Koskinen's interesting. If you're playing McDavid or whatever, 6,700. Yeah, I'll take it. I mean, even if your goalie gets filled in, who cares?
Yeah, for sure. Actually, I didn't even think about that. I just thought about Edmonton on the back-to-back, but it makes some sense. He's going to see a lot of shot volume. At least you expect that.
Yeah, you should see.
All right. couple more to go. Carolina and St. Louis. We've got Curtis McElhinney going up against Chad Johnson. This one I wrote up St. Louis won as one of my favorite stacks this morning. Still there. I would like to have more clarity on the line matching here. I'd like the O'Reilly line to see Aho, Teravainen, and Furlan. If that was going to be the case and we knew it, or we're pretty sure, then I'd be even more all over St. Louis won. But where are you at on this game?
That's my expectation.
That they avoid the stall line. They see mostly.
Yeah.
Aho. Okay.
Yeah. I seem to recall early in the season when they had O'Reilly with Tarasenko, they were doing the number one duties.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. So are you on St. Louis 1? Are you on Carolina 1 here?
I like Carolina in this matchup. I think probably the stall line's the most interesting for me. If you just look at the guys that are on St. Louis 2 and 3, they're not the best defensive. Well, I wouldn't expect them to be the best defensive players. Thomas, Fabry, and Perron. I think between that and then Bozak as a center, he's not. Maybe that third line's not so horrible. They probably see the second line, I guess.
Yep.
But beyond that top, I just want to avoid the top St. Louis line, I think.
I agree.
So anything beyond that, so it's the stall line is kind of interesting to me.
Right, and just thinking about it logically, you wouldn't want Tarasenko to see the stall line if you can avoid it, right? So
Yeah.
Stahl, Williams, and Fogle have been awesome together, actually. Still a 67.7 Corsi for percentage, which is outrageous this late into the season. And if they're not going to see O'Reilly, St. Louis, you mentioned, hasn't been a great defensive team. So, yeah, I think it's the stall line for me on Carolina's side and O'Reilly for St. Louis. Defenseman here, we've got Dougie Hamilton, who is 5,600, and Slavin. They're both listed on the top power play. Looks like Carolina's top power play has gotten a little bit of a makeover looking at our sheet here. Did you see changes on Carolina's side?
Yeah, I heard it was kind of random. They got the two defensemen up there, and then they have Williams and Stahl up there.
Yeah, Williams, Stahl, Aho, Slavin, Hamilton.
Yeah, that's pretty random, but
yeah. Teravainen not listed on a power play.
Yeah, that seems weird.
Who knows if that sticks, right?
Yeah, is he playing tonight for sure?
Teravainen?
Yeah, I thought I heard someone mention something about maybe Svechnikov was up there.
Yeah, Svechnikov. One of the beat writers said that Svechnikov was going to be on it, on the top line, but I think that was in lieu of Furland, not Teravainen, if I'm remembering correctly. And then another beat writer tweeted out, a couple hours ago that it was going to be Aho, Furlan, and Teravainen.
Yeah, that's what I just looked at that right now. I just saw that.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, what would you expect? You think we see the normal Carolina one together here?
If there's no Teravainen injury or anything like that, or none of those guys are banged up, I would expect that.
Okay. So do you like Hamilton, Slavin?
Yeah, Hamilton's great. He's been shooting a lot of shot attempts. I think he's leading the league in that.
Yeah, for defensemen, for sure.
Yeah, I think for all players. I could be wrong.
Wow.
Yeah, I could be wrong on that, but I thought I heard something about that.
You might be right. And then Pietrangelo, is he still too cheap for you? He's 5,200, A value, A points grade, according to Osmo here.
Yeah, that's pretty good value. He's cheaper than Dunn. I do like the power play matchup for St. Louis. If you're gonna target Carolina anywhere, it's the power play.
Yep. All right, I like it. And then goalies here, Johnson, backup for St. Louis, going up against one of Carolina's 3 goalies they have, McElhinney. Both these guys reasonably priced. I don't know. I don't see a ton of shots either way. But
I see a ton of shots coming from Carolina to St. Louis.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
I guess Carolina is the king of that. So maybe an overlook on my part. A value, A points grade. So if you and Osmo both have interest in Johnson?
For Johnson, yeah. I mean, if you're just looking at it from a GPP kind of perspective there, I do like that.
Yep. Had to step away. Would you guys play Tarasenko in cash?
Cash? I don't know. I think there's probably cheaper, better options, but
he's more expensive.
He's
than
7,300. He's more than Kucherov. Yeah.
So that'd be the.
I would rather play a Stamkos or Kucherov there.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah, there's quite a few better point per dollar options and better matchups.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Yeah, it's probably tough for me to get there if I was making one lineup and just going the optimal route. I think Kucherov would be my first expensive winger I'd put in there. All right.
Yeah.
Let's go 2 more games. Ducks and the Kings. We've got a 2.5 implied total for the Ducks, 2.9 for the Kings. Couple line changes on LA's side, but first, Getzlaf and Kessler are both game time decisions for the Ducks.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm not touching the Ducks at all tonight because of that. I'm not sitting around waiting for them to figure it out.
Yeah, no chance. So
yeah,
I mean, it does matter. As far as me wanting to play the Kings, they're not a team I usually get to, but I'm just hammering the Kings tonight. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I think they're a great spot for sure.
Do you have a preference here?
Kopitar Brown usually.
Did you see that? Did you see that Kovalchuk got moved up with Carter and Toffoli?
Yeah. So if you're gonna go full 3-man combo, I usually like to leave Iafallo off that Kopitar Brown line, but yeah, looking at the numbers, I think they're both pretty solid. They're both pretty. Actually, no, the Kopitar line's generating way more from a puck possession standpoint.
Yep.
Yeah, so it would be Kopitar Brown for me.
Carter line's been pretty poor so far. I don't know. Does Kovalchuk give them a little bit of a boost, or just maybe a different trio there could spark something?
Yeah, I mean they're worth a look tonight
for sure.
Kovalchuk's been pretty good the last few games, generating stuff. So
yeah, I mean I like the power play one as well. The Ducks are committing a bunch of penalties, and you know we don't know for sure if Kessler and Getzlaf are going to be in, but if they are, and
the Kings are drawing a lot of power plays too.
And the Ducks just give up so many chances so far this year. So I don't know. I'm just all over the Kings. I hate that. I hate that their total's under 3, but they just all grade out as really solid values, especially the top 6 here. The defenseman is where I'm getting a little bit. I don't know. I'm a little bit of uncertainty here, I guess. I like Doughty for 5,400, but when I can't get up to him, I don't really know where else to go. Is it Phaneuf for you? Is it Alex
probably Martinez?
Yeah. I mean, I guess Phaneuf just as a punt is a guy that I should mention. B value on Osmos grades. Yeah, I don't know. The Kings scare me. So I hate playing them in DFS when I have limited lineups. So there's gonna be some Kings that end up on my 360 lineup here, and it's just a matter of who it's gonna be. Leaning towards Carter to Foley Kovalchuk line though.
Yeah, that's good. Nothing wrong with that one. I'm leaning towards the Kopitar one, but
I mean you can
power play. Not a big deal either way. Yeah. Sorry, yeah, you can do all 4 as well.
Yeah, that's definitely just the Kings onslaught here.
And then I can definitely see myself going Kopitar Brown and then one of Carter Kovalchuk.
Yeah. I like it a lot.
Because they're all pretty cheap. They're all around low 5s.
Yeah. Campbell, I like him here a lot at 7,200. I know he hasn't been great, but your $7,200, possibly no Getzlaf and Kessler here would be a huge boost, but even still, big favorite and at home and cheap and with a team I like.
Yeah, very reasonable for cash, especially if Getzlaf and Carter. The problem is it's the late game, right? So you can't say, if they're out, play him in cash. But I think he's a strong play at 72, only 7,200.
Yep.
For cash, I don't know about the GPP upside though.
You staying away from Gibson then for 83?
No, I mean if I'm going to play a lot of Kings, I'm expecting a lot of volume here from them, and if they just can't score, Gibson's got upside here, I should say.
Yeah, I guess as an upside play, he's fine. But you are paying the price on DraftKings. I don't know what he is on FanDuel.
That's tough. 8,300, right? So it's just a GPP one. If you got a couple cheaper lines with some of the mispricing, if you're playing Tampa 1, and then just like a medium priced line, you can definitely fit them in, no problem.
Yeah. All right, last game of the night, we've got the Minnesota Wild going up against the San Jose Sharks. We have probably Devin Dubnyk, going up against Martin Jones. I thought I saw confirmation on Dubnyk starting, but we don't have him confirmed here. I'll check on that as you're talking, Steve. But I know we both like San Jose here. So talk about San Jose. Why do you like them so much?
Just they're generating so many shot attempts at 5-on-5 and so many expected goals for. It's just such a strong, like they're just such a strong 5-on-5 team offensively. They just fire the puck so much, and their power play expected goals for is pretty strong as well. And on top of that, they're expected to have the most power play opportunities of the night. They also have one of the best referees for calling penalties. So everything kind of stacks up in San Jose's favor tonight.
Yep, Minnesota, 4th most time shorthanded on the season. Over 4 times per game, that is. So even if you give them 3 power play opportunities, that's a huge boost for the Sharks team that's just stacked. With forwards, probably going to see Tomas Hertl. I know he's got at least a chance to play here. Have you heard anything about Hertl?
I thought his game time decision leaning towards playing.
Yeah, I know he did some.
That was the last, the blurb, the last thread, I think.
He did some skating this morning, so good sign there. The only issue that I have here with the Sharks is just lineup construction, trying to fit in Kane, Pavelski, and Donskoy. Donskoy going to get left out a lot. But I love that top line. Love the second line. Just not the greatest pricing, especially if it is Hertl there. Because I would just go to pay $400 more for New Jersey 1 if I was getting in that salary range. So do you have a strong lean either way? If Hertl's playing, I really like that Couture, Meyer, Hertl line. I would pay up for them. Their numbers are just really, really good. That's true. For sure.
But otherwise, that top line, the Pavelski, Kane, Donskoy, they're pretty cheap.
They finally got Joe Thornton out of there, at least in the top 6, which is nice to see. Hopefully that sticks around. So if they just run over the Wild here, hopefully that sticks for the near future at least. And then I'm checking right now. Daily Faceoff does have Pavelski and Evander Kane on the top unit, top power play unit. So it's a big boost to Kane, who was seeing a lot of power play 2 time without guys like Burns and Erik Karlsson. I
think that's what, if they're assuming that Hertl's out. Yeah,
that might be. But anyways,
was he on the top power play before? I don't think I've had a San Jose slate.
Man, I thought they had Thornton up there with Couture and Pavelski, but maybe I'm wrong. There's LeBanc on the top unit.
Yeah, I don't know. It's pretty random stuff. Looking at last game, completely random last game.
DFO does have Hertl on the second unit with Timo and Erik Karlsson. So whatever, you're either going to be playing a unit.
They tend to not adjust their power play lines properly. They'll focus on their 5-on-5. Maybe the information doesn't come out. Maybe they only change them if there's been a practice where they've done something.
Yeah. All right. So anything else in this game besides Burns and Karlsson? Are you looking at the Koivu line maybe, or the super cheap Stahl line?
Yeah. I think the Koivu line probably makes the most sense. The power play in general, I think, is maybe their best bet. I think that's the way you could probably get to the Sharks. Is the Wild are expected to have a decent amount of power play opportunities as well. And from just a power play expected goals perspective, I think it looks pretty good for them there. But just from a shot attempts for and against that even strength, they're not generating all that much.
Right. Especially on the road. I looked into their home road splits just as far as chances so far this season. They've kind of fallen back into the bad road team that they were last year, giving up 6 more chances per 60.
They're pretty inconsistent, I think. They've had the occasional good game, but
yep.
So, I really don't like that they took Zucker off the Stahl line.
Yeah, I don't understand that.
Yeah.
If it's not broke, don't fix it, but they tried to fix it. I mean, Greenway on the top line, I don't know that he's ready for that yet. And I don't know how I feel about Coyle with Stahl. Anyways, so the Zucker-Granlund Stahl line was awesome there towards the end of last season and the start of this year. But anything else in this game? Dubnyk, 7,400. If he starts, would he be a guy you're interested in? He's probably going to get peppered at 5-on-5.
Yeah, there's some GPP appeal there, I
Okay.
think, just for the volume.
And then Martin Jones, are you steering clear because of the lack of shot volume that he's
I
expected to see?
th Yeah, I think there's better goalies at that price tag.
Hmm.
I would rather have Lundqvist. I'd rather have Bob. I would rather have a bunch of guys above and below him, to be
Yeah,
honest. Yeah, he's one of the least attractive options tonight.
I agree. Yeah, so I'm gonna try to get away from Jones as much as I can in GPPs. He's just like he doesn't have a great high danger save percentage or anything like that, so he doesn't
Mm.
usually come up for me much, anyways. All right, so let's close it out. We've got like a minute left, so if we just want to mention the top stacks, probably won't have time to do too much lineup building here. We got to make room for the NBA guys who are on right after us, 4-game slate. Uh, so, who are a couple of your top stacks tonight, Steve?
Top New Jersey line, the Hall line's my favorite. I like Vegas and LA one, and San Jose 1 and 2, depending on if Meyer plays.
All right. I would agree with all those. So New Jersey one. I like St. Louis's top line a lot. I like the Sharks, especially the top line, the value that you get with Kane and Pavelski there with Donskoy. What else am I missing here? That's really about it. Those are the ones that I'm going heavy on. Tampa one, obviously going to be chalk, but should mention them. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. No last questions in chat. We can't do FanDuel crunches today. We don't have time. But thanks for watching, guys. Use promo code Hit the Ice to get your free week of Osmo NHL Premium. You get access to Osmo's rankings, my projections. The Fantasy Cruncher is included, Slack chat, everything good that you get at osmo.com. Steve, any last words here?
Not too much. Just good luck tonight, guys. Hopefully, you guys have some success.
All right, guys. Good luck.